Welcome back again for another episode of Gig 'em Guys with Miami Ties. I'm Richmond Webb and my co-host Robert Wilson, and you can follow us on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at Richmond Webb, my name, and also Robert Wilson. His Twitter handle is at Aggie Bull. Just glad to be back with you guys. It's been a couple of weeks. Actually had an opportunity to travel to Miami, back home. I call it home because it's where I spent the majority of my pro career, and went back for the Dolphins versus the Colts game. But they also had it was alumni weekend, and I had the opportunity to see a lot of former teammates. But they did the celebration of life for Coach Don Shula, so I was able to attend that. And one thing I can say about the Miami Dolphins is they did everything first class. It was an awesome celebration. They did that Saturday, had dinner for us right there at the stadium, um, in the 72 Club. And then just got to fellowship with a lot of former teammates and, people that work for the organization. So I had a good time. How you doing tonight, Mr. Wilson?
Hey man, good. I'm glad to be back. I felt I didn't make it to the reunion or Coach Shula's send off, but I was there in spirit, and I seen some of the pictures, man, and it was great to see some of my old teammates, man. Eric Green, we talked about him earlier. I saw some of the people that worked in the administration. What's her name? The player personnel lady.
Erica?
Erica. No, the old when we were there. The young lady.
Not Jill Fudge Brown?
Fudge, yes.
Fudge, okay. Yeah, I saw Fudge. And, yeah, it was Timbo. Tim Bowens was actually asking about you. So you're right. I saw Eric Green. A lot of guys I hadn't seen since they left the Dolphins. So I know it's been a minute since Eric Green. We were actually in the same draft class, and I was walking in the hotel, and he hollered at me, and man, it was actually good to see E Green and a lot of my former teammates. So it was a great weekend, and hopefully you can make it next time. But I guess we'll just jump right into it. And how about those Texas A&M Aggies this past Saturday? They took on the number one team, Alabama, University of Alabama, and one of the greatest games I ever attended. I actually went to the game, and it went all the way down to the wire. We kicked a field goal at the end of the game, and I knew the student body was going to rush the field. So looking forward to that. But that ball went right through the uprights, and it was one of the loudest games. Reminded me of Robert probably when we played the University of Texas or Arkansas. So I mean, it was a great game to be in attendance and to pull that game out. And I think that's what a lot of Aggie fans had expected from this team this season. We ended up early on getting our quarterback hurt, Haynes King, in the second game, and brought in Calzada, and it took him a few weeks, but I had heard a lot of positive, good things about this young man. But I think this is the first game that Texas A&M put all phases of the game together: offense, defense, and special teams. And if they would have played like this earlier, I think we would have possibly been 4-1, 5-0. So the thing I'm looking for now is for them to continue to play like this the rest of the season. And if they do, I figure we can end with a 2-loss season, maybe 3. But I'm thinking if they continue to play like this week in and week out consistently, they're going to be a hard team to beat. Don't know if we'll make the college playoffs, but we should be nipping right there at the heels. So, but I was really excited for those young men. And then we had a ton of recruits at the game. Saw a lot of young men. And so if guys were questioning whether to attend Texas A&M after attending a game like that and beating the number one team in the country, I think that definitely is going to be a major help or major push in recruiting for the Texas A&M. So we just signed a lot of good young men that's going to be coming in to help these guys continue that tradition that we're trying to build down there. So Um, I don't think you was at the game. Did you watch it on TV, Robert? What you think about it?
I did, man, and no shout out to our cable company, man. We, all of a sudden, Dish Cable dropped CBS. And
What?
I'm like, yeah, they dropped
Oh
CBS,
no!
man. And I'm like, the game is coming on. I'm like, panic mode. So my son came down. He's kind of tech savvy. He's like, all right, Dad, we'll just run it through we'll go to CBS. We'll go to the CBS app and run it through your iPad to the TV. I was like, man, do something, please. Because they went up, and then next thing you know, it's 17-7. But, a lot of takeaways, man, is stuff that we talked about, like on offense, like using the motion. They got into that real good. Putting Wiedemeyer at the X or at the number one receiver spot on the right or the left. That mixed them up a lot. They didn't know what to do with that. The motion, and like you said, all phases of the game, Achane running 22 miles an hour on that kickoff return. That was a sight to see, man, and defense just held it down. They held it down when they had to. It was a bend but don't break situation, and then they never broke. And you have to talk about the quarterback. The quarterback, back in the day, we used to say, he dropped his nuts. That's what happened. The quarterback dropped his nuts and let him hang, man. And he's the leader of that team from moving forward.
Yeah, no question. I agree with all that, and I think Calzada, like I said, he took a huge step forward. Had always heard about how well he throws the football, and it was apparent this game playing against Alabama and that defense that they have. But we did a lot of things as far as offensively. We really opened it up, and the offensive line kind of came together and solidified. We've had a lot of injuries in the offensive line, but they were able to. I think Kenny Green started at left guard, but had to move out to left tackle. But they were still able to maintain a consistent level of play. He was able to run the football with Achane and Spiller time. And anytime you get everything hitting on all cylinders, it's hard for a team to. You kind of keep them off guard. You kind of keep them guessing. We got that much talent, and like you said, it was huge, like you said, with Achane with the kickoff return, because Alabama had just blocked the punt and scored a touchdown, and that could have been a momentum swing, but you kick off, and Achane answers right back with a touchdown. The stadium went wild again, but that's what you got to do. You got to have those type of guys that have the big playability, which we do, in order if a guy misses the tackle or something, to 6 points. And we was in a heavyweight title fight. Like you said, the defense, they bent at times, but they didn't break when they got down there in the red zone, this and that. They made enough plays to keep us in the game and stuff like that. And that's what you got to expect when you play that caliber of a team. So when you get that type of experience and you play against a team like that, and then you can come out victorious, that does something for your mental psyche and all that. And so I think they know now. That's why I say, if they approach every game like this, you're going to be hearing a lot more about the Texas A&M Aggies. I think a lot of people counted us out, which, after we dropped Arkansas and Mississippi State. Yeah. It was more than Stephen A. It was a lot of people, but a lot of them ate crow pie and actually came back and said congratulations, because they didn't give us a chance to win the football game. And so hats off to Coach Jimbo Fisher, his staff. And it was actually his birthday, so that was a great birthday present Saturday night after winning that football game. So it was some awesome to see. But I think this week we got, I want to say we go to Missouri. So, the trap in sometimes a game like this is you keep thinking about what you did this past Saturday, but you got Missouri coming up. But I believe Coach Fisher will have the guys, hey, we won this one, but we want to continue to build on this. And so I'm sure he'll have them focused for Missouri. You're going on the road. It's going to be a tough environment, this and that. And when teams see that you kind of hit it, you're not going to be able to sneak up on people. But if we can go out and execute and do the things that we need to do, I feel confident that, we can come out on top. Hadn't really took a real hard look at Missouri, but I know they're in the SEC East, another conference game, this and that. So we definitely want to try to win that one. We're 4-2 now. I think we're 3-2, 4-2. So you want to just take this and start momentum and continue to build on it. And I think we really can. So I feel really good about it, even though it's a road game. So I'll be watching this Saturday and rooting my Aggies on again. Go ahead, Rob.
One of the takeaways from this game is for the coaches anyway, is to get the players off of that emotional high. And that's when it comes to trap games like that. You're on that emotional roller coaster, and the highs are high and the lows are low. But the coaches just have to get them on one even keel, and like you said, play together on all three phases, and then should come out victorious against Missouri.
Yeah, I agree. I think we got the formula. I think they know the formula. I think we'll see a different. I think like you said, Calzada has grew up. He's matured. He's letting them hang now, like you said, and I'm expecting him to really take off now, because when you get your confidence like that, and some of those passes he completed, and the way guys was catching the football, and I know Wiedemeyer was happy because he got some targets. A couple of them he missed that he was pissed off about. But when a guy can get the ball to you like that,
that's one thing, man, that I always told when I was coaching. I told our players, I was like, hey, man, if you're running down the field wide open, show no emotion. Communicate it when you get back to the sideline, but don't throw your hands up. Don't do anything, because we have a chance to run the same play the other way and possibly get a touchdown. But some of these guys, they show their frustration and not getting the ball on that particular play. And now, everybody in their press box is like, hey, we had number 8 running wide open down the middle of the field. Y'all gotta adjust to that. So that type of thing, man, is just, attention to detail that the coaches should look for, my prayer from the church today was, don't let your emotions control your decisions. And that was kind of, and that's where, that's kind of the parody I got from that.
Well, that's a great point you bring up. Like you say, all you do is put a target on your back. If you're down there wailing and flood in your hands, you acting all upset, that catches somebody on the sideline from the opposite team, and they can say, hey, we let that guy run straight down the hash, wide open, or who's supposed to be covering that guy. That gives them an opportunity to, possibly make adjustments or whatever. Like you said, you can run that same play. Sometimes they may see it, but they'll definitely have a better chance of seeing it if you get all emotional, upset, and, this and that, because you draw attention to yourself. But if not, you might can just sneak back, and if they didn't see it, you can say, hey, coach, get to the sideline. When we ran that play, the safety did this, and I just kept going, and I went right by him. So, yeah, you're right. You can make them pay, and then they can make that adjustment after you get 6 points. So that's an excellent point. So,
I want to say, how many times, and then you said like the heavyweight fight. It was a heavyweight fight, and the week before we talked about, people, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Well, both teams got punched in the mouth a couple of times.
Yeah.
And, it's about resiliency and stick-to-itiveness as the coach's word that they made up. And, that came to light in that game,
Yeah. You're right, and I was sitting not too far where I could see part of the guys on the sideline, and I can remember even after they blocked the punt, it wasn't like nobody like freaking out or whatever, or even
Right.
when the game got close, they still had that confidence. Even though a couple of the offensive drives had stalled, the last two were important. We went down, scored the touchdown, and then we had an opportunity to drive it down, and we did great clock management and
I
ended
tell you
up
what,
kicking the field.
I
Yeah.
tell you what. Also, man, was when Spiller re-entered the game. That was huge for us. That gave us a big confidence boost about finishing him. When Spiller came back in the game after he, I think he hurt his back or something. But I don't know
Hmm.
what I don't know what the injury was, but when he came back in, man, it was amazing. The team got,
Yeah.
he uplifted the team with that.
Yeah, and the amazing thing, I've watched that young man 3 or 4 games this year, and in clutch pressure situations, he delivers. Whether it's making a run for a first down, he's made a couple of catches the last 3 or 4 games that could have ended in us punting, but when we really needed, he just went out and made that play, and I'm really impressed with him. The stage doesn't get too big for him. I watch him, and he's big time. So he's definitely a great asset to have on his team, and he shows up week in, week out, and he's definitely one of the valuable pieces we have on offense. So
And they were talking about the Aggie bloodline going through. His dad played tight end for Texas A&M, and they were talking about the Muhsin Muhammad son is on the team. Uh, who else? I think there's a couple other guys that I can't remember right now, but
I
that they
think
just
Terry Price is Price son there. Or he's gonna be there. Terry Price son. I
I
think
think
he's
he's
a
on the
receiver.
way in. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Hmm.
TP son is on the way in, and they're just keeping that bloodline going, man.
And that's what you got. Hey, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Once you get it going, that's when it's starting to take off. And that's why I tell people, we've had 3 or 4. We've probably finished in the top 6 or 7 consistently as far as recruiting, and now you're starting to see that pay dividends. And that's what you got to have those type of players, but you got to also have depth in the SEC to be able to compete. Because if a guy goes down, you got to have another guy to kind of step in. And we first got in here, we didn't have that depth, but now we're developing that depth, and that's when you start seeing it. But like you said, when you can win a game, stay in it. It's a tough game, but everybody keeps their composure and rise it out and still believes that we can win and then pull out that win. That I think we took another huge major step, like when we played Florida last year. It was #5 team. We never had beat a top 5 team like that. So when they did that, that was another accomplishment. So now it's like it just continues to build
You
on
know,
that. It's now look, we've been here before. Yeah.
and you know what, man? Shout out to the Wrecking Crew, man, because Heisman Trophy winners, #1 teams, and their quarterbacks, they have a hard time at Kyle Field. You know,
They
go
they
back to when
they
we were there.
got they got out.
Andre Ware came in. Even back in '87 when y'all did the Cotton Bowl with the kids from
Tim
Notre
Brown.
Dame, Tim
Tim Brown.
Brown, Bo Jackson. The list goes on and on of Heisman Trophy winners that the Aggie defense has shut down. And I
Was
think
it the Detmer? Was it Ty Detmer at BYU? Y'all went and played him in the Holiday
Todd.
Bowl or something? That was right after I left. Yeah.
So I'm looking from an offensive standpoint. I'm like, man, these guys shut down some major players over the years.
No question. No question. No question. I agree. So I'll be tuned in Saturday. We'll be looking to take it, get another W against the University of Missouri. Now, this Sunday was a different story. Miami Dolphins took on Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay. And of course, we already know they were the Super Bowl champs from the year before. Tom Brady, You got AB, you got Mike Evans, you got Fournette. Those are just some of the guys on offense, and then their defense coming into the game was number one against the run. So I figured if we had a chance, we would have to throw the football against them a little bit. And we made some changes in the offensive line. They moved Liam Eichenberg to left tackle and slid Jackson down in the guard. And that seemed to work a little bit better. It didn't fix everything, but I watched Eichenberg at left tackle, and that might be the place to keep him, and then we'll just continue to figure everything out. But I said this a few weeks ago. The Tampa Bay had the ball for 37 minutes. We had it for 22 or whatever, and that's that time of possession. That's a long time, and I think the last 3 or 4 weeks, the defense has been out there 30 plus, 35, 38, this and that. And that just wears on the defense. You start the game fresh, this and that, but a defense is not designed to play. I think offensively we had maybe 50, 51 plays, and the Tampa Bay's offense had it 70 plus plays. So
Yeah.
normally if you can keep your defense around 60, 65 plays, that's a good thing. But I knew it was going to be a tall order coming in to play against, Tom Brady. He's good, and he really works well, communicates with the receivers, and finds the holes in the defense. And so even if we didn't win, I thought it'd be a little closer. But then offensively, it seemed like they tried to speed up the game a little bit. It was a little bit more up tempo. But I also take my hat off to Jacoby Brissett. He finished the game, but he pulled his hamstring or something. And a lot of people really don't know how that injury can affect you as far as taking a step, dropping back. Anytime you pull your hamstring, you're really limited. But, he gutted it out and toughed it out and didn't allow the backup quarterback to come in, which I don't think that guy had a lot of experience. But, I take my hat off to that young man right there, because he could have easily just shut it down and said put somebody else in there. But that's the true sign of a competitor. People want to criticize this and that, but until you've been in that position, you're injured and you can't maneuver and move like you normally do, but still you put that to the side and then try to do what's best for the team. He earned a ton of respect from me. I don't know if you got a chance to see the game Sunday against the Tampa Bay or whatever.
Oh yeah, man, and so this is kind of off on a different tangent, but we got to talk about it, man. What is wrong with the kickers in the NFL? I mean, you look at the Green Bay game,
yeah,
and proven kickers are missing extra points, man. What is going on? I'm like, and I tell my wife, and she's laughing at me. She's like, leave those kickers alone. I say, look, on Wednesdays, back in the day, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, when we down there banging, doing inside drill, inside run, full speed, all go, we look down there, these guys are stretching, playing with the hacky sack, just doing, hanging out basically. And we down there killing ourselves. And then when you get in the game, these guys are missing kicks. And I remember, Jimmy Johnson told a guy one day, I brought up on the other one. He's like, hey, you got one job, kick the ball. And, Dan was the quarterback. He's like, do you want to play quarterback? So I was like, bro, what is going on here, man? You got one job. Please.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, and I can remember when we were playing for Coach Johnson, he would always say most NFL games are decided by 3 points or less on average. So you figure if you miss a field goal, that could be the difference in winning or losing the game. Sometimes the margin of error is or the margin of victory is larger than that. But if you take the average, a lot of times the game's a lot closer than what most people think. So, like you said, you miss several field goals or extra points. That can really determine the outcome of a game. And I don't know what to attribute it to, but you're right. It's been a lot of extra points, a lot of field goals missed. I don't know if you know, we're playing one extra game, but they took away a preseason game. And the way it is now, these guys make so much money that a lot of them didn't play that third game. I think Tom Brady did. He knew what he needed to do to get his time and stuff like that. But a lot of teams will hold out their big time starters or the guys that's making money. So you really hadn't had enough reps to get yourself ready. And I think that's a lot why you're probably seeing a few more injuries and stuff like that. I mean, it's going to be injuries in the game.
This is the people that got held out or chose to hold out because of whatever reason, right? Like we said 3 weeks ago, this is their preseason, and their bodies aren't adjusting. You can't go out there from flying around in shorts and shoulder pads to full speed, full pads. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work.
No, you're right. And that's the thing. Now, I think we mentioned it before, but you can only have, once the season starts, like 11 or 12 padded practices. Right. So normally they're probably out of pads for the rest of the season by now.
Yeah.
Coach Shula would have had a heart attack, or Jimmy Johnson would have had a heart attack if you told me to.
Coach Shula, Big Tuna. Belichick is probably still doing it because he's still coaching. He's probably trying to sneak a few in here or there. But oh man, the other thing that I think deserves to be brought up is the play of Lamar Jackson in that Sunday night game. He broke an NFL record with his passing yards and his touchdowns. And I was very happy to see him lead his team to victory, in a big game, in the big lights, big time. It came down to him because he lost that fumble and they pitched it back and Leonard pitched it back and the guy went for a touchdown. So it was all on him at that point. He knew it and he did what it took to bring his team across to the victory, man. Great game.
Great game by him, and they believe in him. And each year it seemed like he does a little bit. It's the first year he was so fast. I think he's probably a 4.2, 4.3 guy. And a lot of time, if you let him get to the edge and turn up, it was almost like a touchdown. But each year, even passing, you can tell his game is continuing to develop. He hadn't even hit his ceiling yet, and I think Coach Harbaugh and the Ravens know that. So he gives them the best chance to win. Go ahead.
The other thing is the connection with him and Hollywood Brown. It's fired up now. You know what I'm saying? And Hollywood Brown takes the top off the defenses, and Lamar can get him the ball. So once they got in sync, it was downhill from there.
Yeah, did you know that's AB's? They're related. They're cousins. Yeah, so it's in their bloodline.
When Hollywood was at Oklahoma, AB was on the sideline with the fur coat on.
I remember that. I remember that game. But yeah, you're exactly right. But that was a great game, especially when you turn the ball over and you're able to still stay in the game and find a way to win. And I think that's what we're looking for from the Dolphins. The good thing is, from what I'm hearing, Tua practiced today, and I believe he'll be, if everything goes as planned, I think he'll be activated this Sunday. And they're actually playing in London. So this game is overseas against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they're 0-5. We're 1-4. But I think this is a game we kind of turn it around. Tua gets back, and we can try to add another W in the column.
If you can't turn it around against Jacksonville, then it's going to be a slippery slope there.
It's going to be real bad if we don't turn it around.
You said Jacksonville, so now we got to go there. We have two coaches in hot water. We got Urban Meyer's been in hot water a couple weeks now. Now it came out with the John Gruden situation, and my take on it is, hey man, it's two letters. Okay, WWW. That means World Wide Web. The last word in there is the most crucial. Web. There is a web. It's worldwide, which means if you do something stupid, you will get caught up sooner or later. That's why they have those IP addresses. If you don't know what an IP address is, that is whatever you put on your social media, email, whatever, it gets saved by these servers. And these people, I can't believe, are still to this day, as tech savvy as we're supposed to be, still don't get it, and I love it because it brings them out as to what they really are and who they really are. But still, I'm saying, damn man, I mean, how stupid can you be, And then
Yeah.
with the Gruden thing, they sacrificed Gruden like everybody's saying because his emails came from the investigation that was going on with Washington. So they kind of threw him under the bus with the whole thing because they got him 3 for 3. They got him on the racism, they got him on the misogyny, and they got him on the homophobic stuff. The LGBTQ community, or what some people call the alphabet community. It seems that if the LGBTQ community right now is worse than the damn people with the pets. What's the name? Yeah.
PETA, yeah, Peter,
PETA.
Peter, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's the new PETA, man. You say something wrong about one of them, bro, they coming after you all out, guns blazing.
Yeah, I think they're after. I heard something about Dave Chappelle, and he was. They want to cancel his last Netflix comedy bit, but you're right about. You really got to be careful what you post on social media. All of that web information, even when you delete it, it's truly not deleted. And for this, they've known this since the investigation with what used to be the Redskins, but now they're the Washington football team. But yeah, somebody leaked this information for what reason I don't know. But
they said that the information was leaked from that investigation.
Right, but that investigation was years ago. So I'm saying, why would it come out now? So that's what I'm saying. Somebody leaked it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was they meant to leak that to get him.
Yeah.
To set him up as the fall guy. He did wrong. He did wrong, but you got to come on, man. You know how we look at things.
Yeah, it's just
I got one question for you.
Go ahead.
I got one question for you, and this is not about football. It's about basketball. What do you think about Kyrie Irving's situation?
From what I've heard, I understand it's something that is it the state of New York saying you can't practice or whatever you can't perform or whatever.
Can't play home game.
Can't play home game. I don't know how that's going to play out because if you need him on the road, you definitely need him at home. It's 82 games in a season, 41, and even after that, if that holds, you got to consider, okay, what about the playoff games? If you play a playoff series where it's best of 7, you can say if it goes 7, 3 or 4 games, you're not going to be available because you're not vaccinated. I'm just waiting to see if somebody's going to step in or whatever, but I don't know how you fix that. You know what I'm saying? It's a mandate or whatever. So if it's passed for the state, everybody's has to abide by it. But it doesn't seem like he's budging from it. So I don't know if they're going to trade him or what. But it's not a good situation. So hopefully they can meet some kind of common ground.
And then I was wondering how would his decision and what the NBA's decision is if or when it will end up affecting the NFL. You know,
Affecting the NFL as far what you talking
as
about, like New
far
York
as
teams or what?
what they do for the unvaccinated players, or don't do. I'm still up in the
Well,
air.
it would seem like everybody that plays for either the Jets, Giants, or Buffalo Bills will fall under that same regulation. That if you're not vaccinated, or whatever, then you shouldn't be practicing or playing at home games. So I don't know if it's the city of New York or whatever. I just well, he's in Brooklyn, so I don't know if it's this. Is that a city or is I heard about it, but I hadn't researched it enough to know which one it is or whatever.
Yeah, that's a borough.
Okay, so that's what it is, Brooklyn. So it doesn't affect the Jets, Giants, or um, the Buffalo Bills because if it's in that borough, I think the Brooklyn Nets they play in Brooklyn, so it's Brooklyn. So hmm. Unless they would move games to where the Knicks play, Madison Square Garden, which I don't know how. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how they're going to do that. That's a tricky one there. So yeah.
Yeah, so it started to take you to the basketball, man, to the NBA, but that was something that was newsworthy, and so I thought we should, say our thoughts about it or whatnot. Uh, but yeah, I just going off on different tangents this evening.
That's all right. But yeah, now the game comes on Sunday at I want to say 8:30 in the morning. I don't know if I need to check and see if that's probably. I'm hoping that's Central Time and not Eastern Time because
Eastern,
it'll be
yeah, I think it is.
7:30 here.
9:30. It'll be 9:30.
Okay, 9:30 Eastern.
Yeah,
Okay,
8:30 Eastern.
okay. So
9:30 our time.
no. If it must be 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 because they're an hour ahead of us. Okay. Yep. So get up Sunday morning and root for the Dolphins, and I'm really looking forward to them turning it around. It'll just be good for the organization. You listen to the fan base. A lot of people are upset with Coach Flores or the team or whatever, and I just want people to understand that the players don't want to lose on purpose, but they got to find a way to kind of get out of this funk that they're in. But I think the best opportunity we have for that is Tua coming back in. Hopefully that gives us a little boost on the offensive side. And then you also got to figure if we got Parker, Devontae Parker, Fuller. We got some receivers that's been hurt. So that affects, not being able to go down the field or stretch the field, when you got top guys that you're counting on.
This Fuller guy, man, he's killing me with these injuries, man.
Yeah, he's been out. He's had some personal stuff, and
yeah,
it's been rough. Yeah,
but the injuries when he was here with Houston, once he was on the field, he was a star. But
yeah, he's got. I think he's 4.2, 4.3 speed, so he can definitely stretch the field for you, and I think that definitely would help. But just getting those guys healthy, hopefully they come back at the right time and they can put something together and make a run. And a lot of times you get in a rhythm or get on a little win streak, and then then you get going. So I'm hoping they can turn it around and salvage the season, and we'll have something more positive to talk about next week. You got any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
I sure do, sir. Let me see here. We have. I got a call today from from one of our Aggie buddies, Mr. Nick McGraw, and we've both been invited to the Houston Touchdown Club Touchdowner of the Year dinner Wednesday, October 27th. It's going to be a celebration of Coach Jackie Sherrill. if I'm not mistaken. And Mr. Webb, along with a lot of other distinguished Aggies, will be speakers at this event. So if you wanted to get some tickets and join us down here in Houston, that would be awesome. We have players from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s talking about their experience at A&M, and and the older guys will be talking about their experiences with Coach Sherrill. And if you want more information on that, it's the HoustonTouchdownClub.org.
Okay. And if you can't find it, either hit me or Robert on Twitter, and we'll get the information to you or whatever. But yeah, you're right. Honoring Coach Sherrill, 27th of this month. It's a couple weeks away, and honored to be one of the speakers or get an opportunity to get up and share and talk about Coach Sherrill and what he meant to Aggie football, and kind of got things started. The wrecking crew and all that was started under Coach Sherrill. So a lot of things, and it should be a great night. There'll be a bunch of Aggies, and we're gonna have a great time. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yes, sir, as am I, sir. And it's at the it will be held at the Bayou City Event Center down in Houston, Texas. And like I said, it's our coach, Coach Jackie Sherrill. Anybody that played for him would run through a brick wall for him. He was Jackie Sherrill was the guy that told us. Oh, I was a freshman year. My freshman year, he told us that the football team generated in 88. In 1988, the football team generated $29 million. And he told us that for a reason. Because we generated $29 million in 1988. And they told him that he couldn't feed us breakfast for our practices. Right? And he was pissed. He's like, they're trying to make me out of a liar to y'all's parents. And I'm not going to do it. He's like, hey, lunch is in the press box. Breakfast is in the press box. You know what I mean? And
yeah, he was.
When he stood up, and then if you say 29 million in 1988, you compound that to now, it's probably over 100 million. That's generated.
I can see that. Mm-hmm.
With the new stadium and all that stuff. So, he was a straightforward coach, and he believed in me personally to put me out there as a true freshman. Myself and Kevin, this is the thing, me, Kevin Smith, Quentin Coriat, Pat Henry, John Ellisor, Trent Lewis, Leonard Logan, all those guys, we were Jackie Sherrill's last recruiting class. The 88 class was his last recruiting class. So, we take a lot of pride in knowing that, and knowing that, myself and Kevin were able to get on the field that year, as a freshman, true freshman. And man, it was had a ball. We had a ball, but I said in the book, the first time I saw Adam Bob, I was questioning things because he walked in the cafeteria with the hat on backwards, with the dip in his mouth. R.I.P. Adam Bob, man. And I said, man, who's that guy right there? He's like, I said, he's defensive lineman. Huh? He's like, oh no, that's a starting middle linebacker. I was like, okay, I'm gonna need a red shirt. Let me get one of those red shirts, man. I'm not what? So that type of thing, and then us going at it in an inside drill, and like you said, man, the camaraderie that we had, and the fellowship, and the brotherhood that we have, and still have to this day, man. Coach Sherrill had a lot to do with. and he
did.
you know, he had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. So, and we'd also, before we get out of here, we'd also like to invite former players to come out, and we're honoring Coach Cheryl, so it'll be good, you know, if you guys, and I'll be in contact with a few of them and see if we can get guys to come out, because we need to show up big for this. This is huge.
And
Honor Coach.
Nick said he did contact Kathy Capp,
Okay.
so she can get some of the lettermen in on this deal. But you know, it's should be a good showing, man. He said that beating Alabama didn't hurt. You know?
Yeah, it didn't. And so before we get out here, like I said, you can follow me on Twitter at Richmond Webb, Robert Wilson at Aggie Bull, and then we'd ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and tell people about the podcast. But thank you for tuning in with us, and we'll be back next week. And let's get Missouri and let's get Jacksonville, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. And